Hello Bladers, the name's Stacker, Cardboard Stacker, and this week we're going to take a look at a master set called 006 plus 1. This is a set all about top cards. So let's begin. So the first card I'm going to look at is Grill, and I give it a 2-1 synergy and a 4 in versatility. It's a good card. The effect is a top effect. If another player plays a 5 or 6 stars in their tableau, you get to flip their cards, including this card, and you get 22 points. That's actually pretty good. A little offensive, but it's kind of, you have to time it a little right. For most of these cards, you have to time it correctly. But you have to kind of know what your opponents are playing. But what's nice things about this is that if you don't do it, it still gives you points at the end. Next card is Penny Farthing. I given her a 2 on synergy and a 3 on versatility, and it's an okay card. But you're trying to do for this card is that you're trying to keep it face up until scoring. 24 is not too bad. I'm a little worried about this card because a lot of people buy core cards, and cores happen to be played quite a lot in the tournament. So be worried about this card. There are some cards that actually will help this card a little bit more, but 24 is pretty good. But if you don't have anything for this card to defend it with, it could turn out really bad. Next card is Nut Job, and I actually like this card a little bit more, but I'm still giving it a 2 on synergy and a 4 on versatility. What this card acts as is a anti-promo card, and because the top ability is just like Grill, but it goes for 7 and 8. So the silver and the gold promos usually have 7 or 8. Most of them do. Even though it is a more powerful card to get rid of those cards, you are given just a little less RP, but still pretty good at the end, just like Grill does, who has the score effect at the end. Next card is James Bomb, and I'm giving still a 2. I'll explain why I'm giving a 2 on synergy and a 4 in versatility. This is actually, it's pretty good if you know what the store deck is like, and if you know there's a lot of people who clashes. I don't know, there's a thing about it, but looks like most of the cards that do clash are soldier cards, especially like Fist of Steel. And so if you're watching your opponents buying Fist of Steel cards or any very heavy soldier cards, pretty good. The gain from this is if you're able to pull it off is 30 RP, which is really good, and even better with the deck. And I'll get that to very soon. So moving on. Right, next is Dr. Gold Ducky, and I'm giving him a 2, I'll explain why later, and a 4 on versatility. A 2 in synergy and a 4 in versatility. So, same thing as Penny Farthing. You need to play more defensively with this one. Scores 30, which is very good. But with Fire being the one that flips him, could be very bad, especially if you have somebody is playing with a starter Fire. And usually when you're thinking about elements are more spread out than, say, types. So there's a pretty good chance, especially if you know what the meta is like for Fire, then too bad to play this. So unless you're playing defensively with him, not a good choice to go for him. But 30 points is pretty good. And the deck for this set is Shuffled but Not Stirred. This is a very excellent deck if especially you're doing flipping and actions, just making sure that you are during the one who's doing the flipping and actions on this. But 8 points for that's going to be a natural 48 points if you're able to pull all of that off. So I'm actually going to give this the full points for this because I think it works almost anywhere, and especially works for this deck too. 5 out of 5. Now, about the overall synergy about this deck, it's just very mediocre. The cards actually don't interact with each other. You're just basically playing an overall game mechanic, which is just the top card, and trying to play off if some people are going to play those cards or not. So there's the defensive ones, more like Penny Farthing and Dr. Golducky, and you have the others that are more offensive towards the other your other opponent's tableaus when they play cards like Grill, Nutjob, and James Bomb. So they don't really just work each other. It's just basically an overall theme, if you can just see it that way, just as the top card. So not really, but if you're playing with the deck, it's actually, you know, pretty good if you're able to pull it off, but it's kind of hard to pull it off just to go with that. I would say it's not a good choice to do all of them into your deck if you're trying to find all of them, but I think it's good if you're trying to counteract some cards that you know. So I think this deck becomes a little bit more, this set becomes a bit more stronger over the later rounds when you're kind of getting used to what the opponent might be playing. So keep that in mind. So for versatility, you want to find lots of other cards that help it stay in play. So cards that actually either flip themselves down because of actions you can use. So you can play one of the James Bomb cards. They'll become the more offensive one, that is. The one that Grilled, Nutjob, and James Bomb. Play that. If it doesn't work out, play a card that has an action so you can flip that. Or a way to flip the front card so the James Bomb cards will be back in action. So maybe maybe one card I recommend is probably the Lunchbox. Pretty good for this kind of set if you're going for the offensive cards. Okay, so there are some combinations I like to talk about. Is maybe for the defensive cards is from Pandora's Box Open, the Evil Jar, which actually replaces a card from there. So you can go ahead and play Evil Jar first, wait a little later, then you can have Penny Farthing or Dr. Golducky put into there so you can actually get those points for that. So another one you're going to look at is No Man's Land, the deck from that. I don't know what it's called, but I'll go ahead and place it over there. Mouse Card's an excellent set, especially when playing with the Scaries, because you can place them behind them and they still be on top. Very good set for that. No, I do want to add, this is a big debate over at the Board Game Geek forums, is that do they activate after you play a card? So I guess one of the main questions is if I play James Bomb, then the next turn I would play a soldier card, any soldier card. Now, does James Bomb activate? The answer is in fact no. That is because when you play that card, it no longer becomes the top card because it has to everything resolves in order after that. So if I play anything that's a soldier card that has a play effect or whatever, it doesn't matter, James Bond doesn't get to activate its top card, even though, just say it does, it no longer is a top card. So when it's no longer the top card, its top effect just stops working. That's in the rules. So very one of the more confusing things about this game, but just hang in there. Hopefully more things will get cleared as we go along with it. So to sum things up, it's a very passive set for players to work around. It's not completely direct on its effect, but it allows players to kind of move around or stop combos if you think about it that way. It is pretty offensive if you know exactly what you're doing on those offensive cards. Unfortunately, this deck is a little unreliable that, people will work around it if they can. Maybe play the cards at the end. Maybe you'll see how that works. I don't know, but getting those cards to flip can, it's a bit of a trade-off, trying to switch off their combos or chain combos. But some of the cards will still give you some score effects anyway. But that's what it is. And that's all I have to say about this set. So go ahead and join me next week for the next set. It's going to be a promo set, okay? So if you happen to like this show, you can go ahead and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, and you can also go ahead and support our show on Patreon. Until next time, see you later, Bladers.